For the past 14 days, I have been hunted by a monster. My name is Lucian, and for the past 14 days, I have been chased by a monster. I should begin this by saying, I'm not a good person, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die here, so this is my confession. It all started around 3 weeks ago. I was low on cash and about to be evicted. Me and my friend Jesus, a fat guy with ADHD who always seemed to look on the bright side, were living in a bad part of town, so we were willing to do almost anything for a few bucks. We were planning on selling some of our stuff when one of our roommates came in. Will was a short, skinny guy, had long hair and a mustache, and always had on this stained blue hoodie. He told us that a rich old guy was moving in near us and that we could do a quick snatch and run, then pawn the items. We had all stolen before. For Jesus, it was games, for me, it was weed, and for Will, it was cash. We were not strangers to the idea, but also didn't want to jump to it. Jesus was the first to reject. Come on, man, just 10 minutes in that house and we can pay off any of our debts and more. Will was enthused about this idea of his. What in there is even worth grabbing? I couldn't help but question this, considering I didn't want to rob an old man for nothing. He's some collector of artifacts and stuff, one of them archaeologists or whatever. Will seemed proud of himself for this fact. Me and Jesus looked at each other before nodding. We were at the end of our lines, and Will had convinced us. On the night of the break-in, we pulled up to the house in my van. We had all brought masks and gloves. I had also brought a gun, just in case we had run into something, but thinking about it now, what was the old man gonna attack me like some feral animal? We made it into the house after Jesus climbed the fence and unlocked the gate from the inside. For being the heaviest, he was athletic. Will went in through a window and opened the door for us. We started creeping around the guy's house, and contrary to what Will promised, there was nothing but talisman and notes. There was a few skeletons of animals around, but nothing worth big money. So we split up, all going in different directions. I was the one to come across it. In the study of the house was this leather-bound book with strange engravings on the front. It had jewels inlaid within the cover, and it was just sitting on a desk. Around the room were several notes hanging from boards, all with strange symbols. I picked up the book, reading through it. One of the pages caught my eye. On it was the drawing of some sort of skinny creature with long arms and legs. Its head was some sort of deer skull. The writing seemed to be Latin, and I tried mumbling the words out loud. I felt a prick from my finger, and the book felt warmer. From the doorway, the old man shouted, "Stop!" But it was too late. I dropped the book in surprise and pulled out my revolver, shooting the old man twice. Once in the chest, the other in the neck. I grabbed the book and ran, the realization of what I had done setting in. Jesus was already back over the fence, and Will dived out the window to get back to the car. I got in the driver's seat as Will entered in the back, and Jesus was in the passenger's seat. I started driving. I was about to go when Will shouted that something had his leg. I turned around and saw Will with some sort of dark clawed hand grasped around his ankle. I pulled out my revolver and shot. The bullet hit the hand, but pierced Will's leg. I started driving, and from the side mirror I could see something pulling itself from the ground. Then it started to run on all fours, this shambling mound of bones and rot. It was keeping pace with us. People saw us. People heard us. We had to keep moving. Not to escape the law, but to escape that thing. I drove all night. Jesus had checked his phone, and our names were starting to spread. Will had used his belt and a pen to make a tourniquet for his wound. At some point, we lost track of that thing. We stopped at a gas station and got supplies for Will. We also got food and water, considering we were now wanted and probably not gonna be able to show our face for a while. As I was unhooking the pump from my van, I saw it in the distance. Some black mass scuttling in our direction. I squinted, and sure enough, there were 2 antlers. I quickly got in my car and drove. We kept driving, with me and Jesus swapping as drivers. Will started complaining about his leg, and there were scratch marks on it, heavily infected. Black goop seeped out of the slashes, and I helped wash it out and wrap it up. We talked about what it was, the thing following us, and I admitted that the book had something to do with it. We talked for a while, but after 4 days of traveling away from this relentless thing, we started to lose hope. Even with translations, the book told us nothing. Will started to grow pale and started to get reclusive, not talking. We kept on a steady pace, a few miles above this thing, just hoping it would leave. It has been 13 days. Will died yesterday. He begged me to end his pain, and after clumps of flesh from his legs started falling off, I used my revolver to help him. We have run out of food. It hasn't stopped, and we are about to run out of gas. I have 2 bullets left, and I'm hoping that whoever reads this doesn't make the same mistakes as me. Me and Jesus hope that God forgives us. As the shadows lengthen and the last echoes fade, I extend my gratitude to you, dear viewer. If this tale stirred something within you, consider subscribing and granting it a thumbs up. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What secrets haunt your nights? And remember, my other videos harbor enigmas waiting to unravel. Stay tuned, for the darkness holds more stories yet untold.